How's it going, everyone? I'm Cities by Jake, your resident architect, and welcome back to City Skylines 2. Today we're going to continue our expansion of Downtown Magnolia. If you like what you've seen so far, be sure to like this video. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe to the channel and ring the bell notification to be the first to know when a new episode comes out. Lastly, your comments spark the creativity here in Magnolia, so drop a comment on what you'd like to see in the build. Who knows, it could make it into a future episode. Before we get started, let's go over today's plan. We're going to continue our expansion of adding medium density housing, high and low density commercial, and then we're going to mix in some office space. Additionally, we're going to fix our highway interchanges and add to our rail network. Lastly, to fill things in at the bottom, we're going to add more industrial zoning and maybe add an old industrial port. And with that, let's get into it. Alright, so like the intro said, we are going to continue to fill this in. And if you didn't notice, it is springtime. I fast forwarded through winter because I needed to fix the thumbnail in the last episode. And I wanted it to be summer and not winter. So, fast forwarded to there. So we're going to continue to fill in this area. And then we're going to connect our rail, our train station, to our rail. And then we're going to stretch it out over to here for a future build. So let's kind of figure out what's going on here. I think, like I said in the last episode, we're going to make this a park. And then I think today we're finally going to draw a bridge that goes all the way across and connects to Broad Street. So let's draw some roads, and we're gonna use, the roads that we're gonna use here are just gonna be the alley roads. We might throw in some 2-lane roads, but I'm really just, this is a small space to begin with, and I kind of just want to throw in some alley roads, and we'll have all the high density stuff along these medium density roads. Okay, so let's hit play first, and we need to keep an eye on our taxes. That bug that's going on where certain industries just lose so much money and then sometimes will gain so much money, so I need to keep an eye on that. That's looking about right. Not really. We'll just keep an eye on it. Okay, so I'm gonna draw some roads and then be right back. I'll probably do a little montage of this. Okay, so I got those roads laid out. It's probably not a typical city. Like, you wouldn't see this typical in a city, but I feel like you would see it in the outskirts of a downtown. High dense historically used to be, a low density neighborhood, but then has been since upscaled into medium density, row housing and medium density homes. Once we get a few zoning, then I think we'll add some pedestrian paths, and I probably will actually do that first this time. probably end up doing that first, just because I ran into some issues when I was doing it here. It was causing a lot of dezoning, and I know I do have to fix some zoning through here, so we're probably just gonna do that right now, actually. But let's just double check and see what we have going on and if I like the zoning or not. I do know we need to cross this park over here somehow. So what I'm thinking is maybe doing something like this. We just have some paths. Not the greatest, but we just have some paths. We'll put some trees in here as well. And then we can just do something like that. I don't know. Let's actually redo this. Do that, and I'll just copy that over so you can continue into here, and then we will continue something through here. I'm just gonna, well, I eventually have to level this out and stuff, but yeah, this will be a park, a bunch of other actual park assets to make it feel like a park in the game, to understand that it's a park, and then we'll just plant a bunch of trees. But right now, we will go into some zoning, and then we'll throw in some parking lots. I'm gonna throw in a lot of parking lots under the highway. I just feel like that makes the most sense here, and that's probably where most of them will go. So I'll probably have to adjust some roads a little bit, but let's speed through that, and we will kind of get going. Alright, so we're eating up into our high density and medium density demand. So we're gonna go ahead and probably stop for now. Once we get some more demand back, then we'll go in and fill in the rest of this along with this. So because we still got a lot more filling to go. So I think what I'm gonna do is take a look at this. Honestly, I don't know if it's too tall. And, with these kind of near it, I think this will be fine. So what I want to do now is I want to kind of level this out and create a park. I'll do some road services to kind of cover up this parking a bit, but this is what we're going to focus on next. So let's get our level. We're just gonna actually soften this up. And what we will do though is we'll push more. Soften that up a little. No, we'll got a lot more. Soften that up. And then we're gonna end the park here, obviously. So let's okay, so that's a lot of trees. And next, let's look at our parks. And you know what I kind of want to do? We have a soccer field here. Let's see what the football field would look like. Kind of like it to be the focal point, you know, the middle focal point. Let's put that right there. Then we can get some alley. Let's do some alley roads. Connect there, and then let's get course. Locate this a little further back. So that we can get an alley road. Right there, and then we can get medium parking right here. So let's go ahead and start detailing this a little bit. Okay, so we have our paths in here, so let's now add other small parks. Add one right here. Another one right here. Add another one. Maybe not a small playground. Dog park right there. So I know I have a dedicated episode for this, but let's look at our landmarks and see what we could put here. It's a little too big. That doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense also. This is pretty a large asset. Then I have a plan for this, so we're not going to do that. And then big. So never mind. I think this honestly looks really good. And then once the trees kind of come in, let's actually, now that we have our paths, our parks in here, let's just do some paths connection. Okay, so again, that's filling in. We got our park all situated. So now what I want to do is fix up our highway. Kind of clean this up, get some more off ramps. We'll have an off ramp over here, and then we'll have another one kind of right here as well. And then we're gonna push this. And then we're going to push this interchange further back a little. Okay, so we have our park kind of filled in now, and then we're still not getting our demand. We're getting a little bit of medium density demand, but our high density demand is not coming back, so we can kind of wait a little bit, I guess. While we let that zone, I guess what we can do actually, zone this out. And then the rest of this area, we're gonna redo this area. We're gonna get rid of it. This was our mistake with air pollution. I'm surprised it's not they're not having that issues anymore, but we're gonna get rid of this and redo it. And then I think I'm honestly gonna start doing some terraforming over here. Make this a little bit more hilly. So we might have to buy a few tiles, but we're gonna move on to fixing our highway, redoing our interchange a little bit, and we're gonna get it so that it's a four-way, because we're eventually gonna expand to over here. So we're gonna do a four-way interchange this way, and we're just gonna kind of cut it off right here. So I'm gonna pause that, and then we're gonna redo all of this. Okay, so we got this done and it's a lot bigger now, but I really like how it turned out. You know, it's definitely not perfect, but I really feel like this is, you know, kind of, you know, more natural on where you would expect to see these things. Now the tricky part is, how are we gonna get our train connected up here? Because I'm thinking, my original thought was to start bending this in with the interchange, but I think the best way to do it is to get it so that it comes over, and then we'll probably cross it over here, somewhere over here. Let's figure out how we're gonna do that, and I want to check out the terrain. And see, because if we can kind of squeeze it, I guess we can because of that. Guess we can probably wrap this around, go over, or we can just go under. And I think the easiest part is to just go under. It's not really practical. That's not really practical. You don't really see a lot of train tracks that go underground. Well, the highway always kind of figures itself out with the tracks, and ideally the ideal scenario would be to, I guess we would have to check. So yeah, so the ideal scenario is to get this underground, go over, same thing here, over and then under, and then have this go over, come out there. But a lot of rework to what we're gonna doing. I'm just gonna leave it like that. Again, not really practical. Maybe off camera I will figure out how to get it like that, but really like how this turned out. It looks honestly realistic. Same thing with that one. We're just trying to get rid of the in-game kind of interchanges. They are realistic, but I just feel like as a sense of scale they aren't. Like, I feel like this is much more to scale, honestly. Maybe a little bigger than normal, but I just think that this fits more. Okay, so I ended up just doing exactly what I said I was going to do off camera. I feel like this is a lot more natural, where there would be bridges over the train tracks rather than a tunnel. Still need to kind of, oops. Still need to kind of clean it up a little bit, but that's fine. Okay, so we are actually going to delete this. Like I said in a few episodes back now, we're running into a smog issue from here. And it's only going to get worse the more we add, the more these level up and the more we add. So we're going to need to get rid of these homes. And we'll eventually probably relocate the low density over here somewhere. But we're just going to get rid of this right now. So let's upgrade some roads, and we're gonna upgrade it right here to a 4-lane. And we'll do another 4-lane. Then we'll just upgrade this to a 3-lane. I don't know if that's actually how it would work. Honestly, when I'm driving, I don't pay attention to actually how it works. I'm just trying to figure out how to get out of the merging lane. So if this is wrong, please let me know and I will fix it to how it should be. Third parallel off. It will. But I think the best way to do it is to just go straight and then see, that's a +5. Maybe we go So that is probably as good as what we're gonna get. And I'll probably do another turn only this way. No, we can leave it here. That's as good as we're probably gonna get for that. Now we have to do the merging onto the freeway. Okay, so that took a little longer than I thought I was going to do, and while we're at it, we might as well place another strip or two. There. Okay, so that, again, took a lot longer than I thought it was going to do, but I think it turned out better than what we had originally. So we can now hit play. Okay, so the next thing that I probably need to do is getting our train line over to here. We'll need to figure out how we're gonna get it to go this way We'll also need to figure out how we're going to get it to jump. So we'll probably have to push it out further. And it will eventually probably jump around here. And we can probably jump it again, merge here. But let's check out our contours because maybe we can elevate the bridge. We might be able to get away with a bridge. Yeah, around here. Do 2 mini bridges. I feel like that's probably most logical, most reasonable. Okay, so that looks a lot more realistic to kind of play around with a little bit. But this is kind of how we're probably gonna have to do this. And we'll have to do the same thing over here. Should be already flattened. But I think we're gonna do it probably right around here, curve in, so that they both meet up right around here. What I think what we should do is we should draw track just so that I have a guideline. So this will curve right here, right here. Probably a good guideline to kind of figure out our curves, because that's a decent curve still. Yeah, it's not a terrible curve. I'll have to grade, but. And then this one will probably start right here. Yeah, right here is probably the best. Just draw a track right there, just so I can kind of figure out how to get this curved. Might have to start the curve on the bridge. Right there. That looks very natural. Hopefully it's aesthetically wise. Looks like it is kind of clashing a bit. Guess we'll just have to kind of find out. The game registers it, so hopefully it should work. Okay, moving on to here. That up. So now we're fine with the terrain. I don't know how I feel about this cross on a busy road. I also don't want to make this a bridge. I also don't want to make the tracks a bridge. So maybe my idea of having a busy road through here doesn't make much sense. So we could downgrade this to just a normal two-way road and have some heavy traffic here. And our main road starts right here. Starts and ends right here. I think that's probably the way we go. Well, let's fix this a little bit. We might have to buy a tile. Yeah. Let's just buy this tile. Got plenty of them. Don't to worry too much. And then like that. Okay, we actually gotta slope this. Sorry. Premature again. Yeah. And obviously, if we do end up kind of going out in here, we'll fix it up. So that is all connected. Now all we need to do is clean up our edges and maybe add some trees, more trees. Should be good to go. Alright, so I went ahead and did a lot of trees over here, cleaned up all of the hills. There's still a little scarring, but I think that might not. See if I can just clean this one up. Should be able to. Go. The ones around the turns are very difficult to do. But I honestly love how this area has slowly changed and slowly turned out. We didn't get much of development as I wish, and that just demand bar. Eventually I want to get down into here, but I don't want to leave this gap over here. I want to wait until this fills in through demand. We get some demand to do that. So I know we promised a lot. I know I promised a lot and didn't get to it, but that's just how the game works. When you kind of eat up all of your demand. We're doing pretty good in taxes, so maybe we can cheat a little bit by raising demand this way. See if that works. Can watch that for a little bit, but an accident here for a while. The cars are already starting to use this. I don't like how they're slowing and stopping right there, but I'm gonna fix this, actually. There. And we can apply. The only thing that we can do now is we can turn this on, turn the parking fee. We'll put it up to like 20 so that people don't park in here. Then what we can do is go into our transportation line and let's delete this and we will add and redo it. If we were to do this, end of the line right here. Have to get it to turn around right there. Then we can just complete the route for now. LTA, Magnolia Light Rail Train Association. And let's wait and see if train comes through. Okay, so I've let this run for a while and there was a train here. And then I went to go watch it cross under here and it never showed up. So let's see what's happening with this. Let's just follow it. We can see what is happening. My concern is that it's getting stuck at the rail yard because the cargo line trains are waiting to cross and they block the track. They always do. So we'll might need to figure out the cargo lines before we can get this train going. Let's just kind of fast forward and watch it, see what it does. Okay, so as you just saw there, it fit under the highway and it made it to this train station. So I'm thinking that whatever happened to the last train, there was some backup right here and it timed out. That's the only explanation that I can have. We might need to figure out how we do manage that. We might need to, we might need to figure something out with this cargo train. They might have to get their own separate track. But yeah, it's going back. I really like this turned out. So, and as I was watching it, it doesn't make sense to put a high-rise density. We might need to start getting back into our low density office, commercial, and all of that stuff. Keep the high density kind of right here. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to zone in this area to fill it in, and then we'll call it a day. Alright, so went a little crazy right there and kind of detailed as well. I've kind of decided that I don't think I'm going to zone on this street, or at least on this side of the street. I think if I am going to zone, it's just going to be on this side of the street. I want to kind of have some sort of divider between, you know, residential community and office, commercial. There's gonna be a lot of office and commercial in here. We'll probably throw in some low rent housing development into here, and then this is where we'll start to get into our industrial. I need to make sure wind wise. Okay, yeah, so it goes this way. So you see, this is the reason why we got rid of this development, because if we do end up expanding our industrial over here, and that's just going to cause a problem. So we can get a little bit of residential. Like I said, if we do low rent housing, it's going to have to be over here, and then this is where our industrial is going to go. So like I said earlier, we promised a lot, and we didn't get to everything. You know, I did really want to finish in filling this and then getting into this, you know, old industrial district. You know, the history wise, you would think that this used to be the old port, but then as the city grew on, it relocated. So I'm not going to do that, obviously. But we got a lot done, and I'm really happy with how things turned out, especially with this area. I didn't really know how I was going to get all this figured out, but I really wanted to try and make my own moving forward, I really want to make my own custom interchanges and not use these ones unless I really, really need it. But yeah, so if you stuck around, thank you so much for watching. So yeah, if you stuck around, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't done so already, be sure to give this video a like and make sure you subscribe to the channel and ring the bell notification to be the first to know when a new episode comes out. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.